Welcome to Starship TV's 5 favorite comedy movies. Let's begin with our countdown. Number 5. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein 1948. Synopsis. Deliverymen Chick and Wilbur find themselves face to face with horror legends when they deliver crates containing Dracula and Frankenstein's monster. As Dracula plots to use Wilbur's brain for the monster, the Wolfman tries to stop the madness, resulting in a hilarious spooky adventure. Main cast and characters: Bud Abbott as Chick Young, Lou Costello as Wilbur Gray, Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula, Lon Chaney Jr. as Larry Talbot, the Wolfman, Glenn Strange as Frankenstein's monster. Director: Charles Barton. Studio and year: Universal International Pictures, released in 1948. Interesting facts: one of the earliest horror comedies, blending slapstick with classic Universal monsters. Bela Lugosi reprised his Dracula role officially, for only the second time since 1931. Revived the Universal Monster franchise and helped launch a wave of horror comedy hybrids. Number 4. Ghostbusters, 1984. Synopsis. 3 eccentric scientists start a ghost-catching business in New York City, after being fired from their university. As paranormal chaos escalates, they face a gateway to another dimension, a demonic god named Gozer, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in a wild climax. Main cast and characters: Bill Murray as Dr. Peter Venkman, Dan Aykroyd as Dr. Raymond Stantz, Harold Ramis as Dr. Egon Spengler, Ernie Hudson as Winston Zeddemore, Sigourney Weaver as Dana Barrett, Rick Moranis as Louis Tully. Director: Ivan Reitman. Studio and year: Columbia Pictures, released in 1984. Interesting facts: the original script had the Ghostbusters traveling through time and space. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man costume weighed over 200 pounds. Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song became a cultural phenomenon, hitting number 1 on the charts. Number 3. Young Frankenstein 1974. Synopsis. Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, determined to escape his family's dark legacy, inherits the Transylvanian estate of his infamous grandfather. Curiosity overtakes him, and with the help of his assistant Igor and a few bolts of lightning, a new monster is born in this horror spoof masterpiece. Main cast and characters: Gene Wilder as Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, Peter Boyle as the monster, Marty Feldman as Igor, Terry Garr as Inga, Cloris Leachman as Frau Blucher. Director: Mel Brooks. Studio and year: 20th Century Fox, released in 1974. Interesting facts: shot in black and white to mimic 1930s horror classics. The original Frankenstein lab equipment was reused for authenticity. Mel Brooks said this was his most elegant film, crafted with style and restraint. Number 2. Stripes, 1981. Synopsis. Out of options, John Winger and his best friend Russell enlist in the U.S. Army, expecting a break from life. What follows is chaos and basic training, an unauthorized road trip in a prototype tank, and accidental heroism behind enemy lines, all drenched in irreverent comedy. Main cast and characters: Bill Murray as John Winger, Harold Ramis as Russell Ziske, John Candy as Dewey Oxburger, Warren Oates as Sergeant Hulka. Director: Ivan Reitman. Studio and year: Columbia Pictures, released in 1981. Interesting facts: originally written for Cheech and Chong before being rewritten for Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, Bill Murray improvised many scenes, adding to the film's unpredictable tone. A cult classic that inspired later military comedies and parodies. Number 1. The Blues Brothers, 1980. Synopsis. Jake Blues is released from prison and immediately reconnects with his brother Elwood. After learning their childhood orphanage is facing closure, they set out to reunite their old band to raise the money, facing off against police, Nazis, and angry country bands in a wild musical odyssey. Main cast and characters: John Belushi as Jake Blues, Dan Aykroyd as Elwood Blues, Carrie Fisher as the Mystery Woman. Cameos by James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles and Cab Calloway. Director: John Landis. Studio and year: Universal Pictures. Released in 1980. Interesting facts: featured one of the largest car chases in movie history, over 60 cars destroyed. Based on a sketch from Saturday Night Live, but with real soul musicians performing live. Dan Aykroyd's original script was over 3 times longer than typical screenplays. These are Starship TV's top 5 comedy films. What are your 5 favorite all-time comedies? Also be sure to like, comment and subscribe.